No more doors. No more rules. No more excuses. Make your wish.
I wish that Derek Hatch's favorite movie of the Star Wars saga was The Last Jedi. I wish that Joe Wilson would turn against Zack Snyder. And I wish that Jason would love a movie that wasn't animated.
Your wish has been granted.
Welcome to the Live a Meaningful Story podcast, where we explore connections between the movies we love and the stories we live. We are friends and colleagues with backgrounds in storytelling, filmmaking, teaching, and narrative therapy. Join us on our quest to unlock the power of storytelling for your life. I'm Derek Hatch.
My name is Nick Natal.
Hello, everybody. I'm Joseph Wilson.
I'm Jason Lin.
So guys, I woke up and I had the funniest revelation this morning, and it was that The Last Jedi might be the best Star Wars movie. Which I know it might be a shocker, but something weird has come over me.
Yeah, and honestly, thinking about it now, I don't even think Zack Snyder really even has any type of vision or any type of real movie like status. I don't know. Like rewatching his lore and just all the things he's done, it's he's a failed artist. I think.
I honestly, like, I've been thinking too, and I really do think that Interstellar has to be, I'm sorry, Inception has to be my top favorite movie of all time.
Really?
I think it's just so grounded.
Does that mean you're finally not going to pick something animated?
Yeah, I think I'm done with animated movies. Yeah, I think more historical even I might want to go with right now.
Yeah, I think
Bye, Wally.
Yeah, I'm never watching a Zack Snyder movie ever again.
Now you guys got to all like fake and choke to death.
Okay.
Well, now that Nick has finally heard what he's wanted to hear all this time,
I'm so happy. High five, baby.
that picked you up from the depression of emo. The music.
That's all we needed was a Djinn, a 2,000-year-old Djinn.
And if we're being accurate, that means that Nick wanted to hear that and then let us die right after.
Those were my wishes of my heart, guys.
Today is our final pick for Schlock Fest.
Mm-hmm.
And so Nick has chosen Wishmaster. Why'd you choose this movie?
This movie, oh man, I don't know. This was one of the early childhood aspirational figures for me.
To be honest, I understand and I get it.
This was the early aspirational foundation for me was Wishmaster.
That's rough.
I find it interesting that all of our schlock picks have something to do with our past.
Yeah.
We're reaching back to something. That's amazing. We can kind of all kind of laugh at ourselves.
Well, I think schlock is like in its nature something comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Something that's like, it doesn't matter if it's good or bad. It's just something that's comfortable and we like it.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is part of my background is these like crazy kind of stupid horror movies.
Yeah.
Like this stands next to, so like if we're doing categories for the schlock, this is like the back row horror section of Blockbuster.
I was just about to say that.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
This is sitting next to
Easily.
This is sitting next to Leprechaun.
Yeah.
This is sitting next to Jason Goes to Hell.
Mhm.
This is sitting next to all of them.
Yeah.
So
Easily.
and I
This
would
is
just
Bride of
stroll.
Chucky.
Yeah,
Yo,
Piranhas,
I know how much time I've spent in my childhood in that aisle
That's hilarious.
looking at all of those covers.
Yeah.
Those are core memories for me.
Core
So-
memories.
And I was gonna pick one of the
Nightmare on
on Elm Street, either 3 or 4. I was gonna pick 4 actually, but they're too recent.
But it's
Kinda-
it's amazing though because those movies are kind of the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're kind of the same movie.
Yeah,
It's
they're just in the last like 4 or 5 years that I've really loved those. But this one is
This is
Yeah.
such an original and like really visually creative and cool movie that like I wish I saw it like when I was younger. Like it's one of those movies like, dang,
I've seen all 4 of them.
I need to see all 4. I need to see all 4.
And the 4th, it's funny because I think the second one is probably the worst one. The third
Mhm.
one is good, and then
Mhm.
the 4th one is
I'm
banger.
I'm invested with this lore of the Wishmaster now.
Well, it kind of is tapping into something very ancient,
Mhm.
very mythic, and that's what we'll talk about here. And talking about desire, because that's what this movie,
Yeah.
to me at least, is ultimately about, is the dangers lurking within your desires.
Mhm.
So let's go and do the letterboxed, and then we'll jump in.
Be careful what you wish for. The Djinn, having been released from his ancient prison, seeks to capture the soul of a woman who discovered him, thereby opening a portal and freeing his fellow Djinn to take over the earth. 2.9 stars.
Higher than Emo the Musical and Lake Placid, but just under Four Brothers.
Hey, man.
Four Brothers is in danger of not being
Yes,
considered.
It's
Schlock.
on the
Yeah.
border.
It's like,
Well,
I
you
guess-
guys don't consider this schlock.
Yeah, no.
It
It is,
is,
it's
but
in
it's
Schlock,
good.
but it's still a masterpiece.
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
So is Zack Snyder.
There,
That's probably what it is. I'm not gonna lie.
there is something profound with this movie
Mhm.
that it's tapping into. So you've got these ancient stories they're like monkey paws stories.
Yeah.
Where you have somebody who finds a monkey's paw or a genie in a lamp or something like that, and they're granted these wishes. But each wish that fulfills a desire, usually a selfish desire,
Mm-hmm.
has some sort of strings attached, something on the other side of it that they can't see. So I was listening to Jonathan Pajot the other day, and I listened to his podcast, and he's really good at kind of like understanding this kind of mythic, symbolic world of storytelling. And I'm going to play you like this excerpt of what he said. So he's talking, the context of this is he's talking about AI and how AI is basically our new genie, where it's just going to grant us like desire fulfillment, right?
Right.
On a technological. So, but listen to how he talks about this. And if you didn't know he was talking about AI, and if he didn't mention it, you would think it's talking about Wishmaster.
Okay.
Yeah. So listen to it.
The genie in the lamp is a great example, because one of the things that happens with demons is that they give you what you want, but they don't let you see the side effects, or they don't let you see that if I add power to this desire you have, then all these other things are going to come with it, but that you don't know what they are yet. And it's a kind of blind, you're blinded by desire. You're blinded by that's also the thing that AI is doing all the time, is that it's actually adding infinite power, like the genie's lamp, to our desires. But we don't know what those desires lead to, because we are only focused on what it's giving us now. We're only focused on the mammon. We're only focused on the money or on the increase in power, but we don't see the side effects. And as we increase it, the side effects just keep getting bigger and bigger.
I think that all falls into like the real downfall of humanity with our desires. Our desires unchecked and led astray will lead us to do like horrific things. And that we've seen that throughout history with different types of like serial killers and different people that take advantage of people. It is something that is so harmful. Like if you are not aware that this could be something that could be like a god to you, pretty much. It's crazy.
I mean, Nick, it's kind of feels like this is almost in a way like an ultimate horror movie, because we've talked about before that like there's the horror of the monster with like outside of you, right? That force that kind of will come at you and try to kill you, but there's the monster within as well. And this feels like the monster outside is pulling the monster within out and bringing both together in an unholy union.
Surrounded. There's no way out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know what you watch a lot of horror movies. What are your thoughts on some of these things?
Well, just the timing of life right now. What I've been reading and what I've been sharing with you guys is just like simply about desire.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a theory called mimetic desire, where the theory basically says that there is nothing intrinsic in our desires. Desire doesn't come from us. So we learn what to desire from the people around us or culture or the things that we see.
Mm-hmm.
So what we're desiring is not actually even authentic. And he kind of talks about Adam and Eve and how Eve attaches to Satan's desire in the garden and goes after the apple.
Mm-hmm.
And then from that contagious desire, rivalry begins, and then violence begins, and then the world kind of just drifts off into chaos.
Yeah.
Just from swirling desire. And so the demon in this movie is playing off really chaos, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh, and then in the fourth one, I watched all of them because I couldn't just watch one of them. But in the fourth one, the demon is masked by a guy and he's talking to the girl, and the girl goes, "Do you believe that prayers are answered?" And he says, "Well, I don't know about that, but I do believe we can make our wishes reality," which is another word for manifesting.
Yes.
Just our cultural
Yeah.
idea of making our desires real,
Yeah.
which, like, it's crazy. And what's the difference? She says, what's the difference between a wish and a prayer? And he says, well, prayer is an exercise in faith, but a wish is a confirmation of desire.
See, this is low-key kind of brilliant.
Yeah, this is the fourth one. And so after seeing that, I was really challenged to think about, have I been wishing my whole life instead of praying?
Yeah, that's
and I was like, Wishmaster, thank you.
God can use anything.
I'll say, but that's really important, especially like in your journey right now, and how God has been revealing like a lot of things to you, and like the maturity of that as well. So I think that's cool that you're seeing that or even picking that up. That's crazy.
Yeah,
that line was awesome, and that idea is cool.
I actually have a couple scripture I wanted to read that like I was thinking of when I was watching this, and I feel like it goes right in with it. 1 John 2:16. For all that is in the world, the desires of the flesh and the desires of the eyes and the pride of life is not from the Father, but is from the world. And the world is passing away along with its desires, but whoever does the will of God abides forever. And then the next one. But each person is tempted when he is lured and enticed by his own desire. Then desire, when it has conceived, gives birth to sin, and sin, when it is fully grown, brings forth death. Do not be deceived, my beloved brothers. Every good gift and every perfect gift is from above, coming down from the Father of lights, with whom there is no variation or shadow due to change. And I'm thinking of like all these like small desires and all these places are kind of building up, and like of course death is being brought to each one of these persons. There are these small things that are coalescing into this one big party where it all just breaks loose at once. Yeah. All these sins coming together, all this stuff, like death is just exploding. Like it's all like it's being conceived.
You know, that verse is making me think that like these characters are trying to bypass the Father to get to what is essentially a lesser desire, right?
It's manifesting,
yeah. And C.S. Lewis has this awesome quote where he says that the problem is not that our desires are too strong, it's that our desires are too weak. Because we desire lesser things over greater things. We'd rather be content with mud pies when there's a whole banquet laid out for us in the other room. But we'll stay over here and play, right? Because willing to settle. I mean, like some of these wishes that people have in the movie, like I wish to be beautiful forever. I wish to, have this much money, right?
Or that this person dies of cancer. Revenge.
Just simple stuff.
Yeah, I mean, but they're all things of the flesh. They're all things that are about how do I preserve this?
Yeah.
There's no letting go.
And I think it's interesting because throughout it, Wishmaster was also kind of leading in the conversation as well, as like to draw out what the desire is or even kind of manipulate it. So like even what you think what you desire could also be manipulating you into something that you actually weren't even thinking of or wanting to step into anyway.
Yeah, well, because this Djinn demon puts on like flesh. It puts on a mask and it looks pleasing. It looks like a gentleman trying to kind of coerce you there. And then underneath, obviously, we know what's lurking. But when he does that, he's trying to lure that out. I mean, this movie is very...
That Haikyuu
there's a lot of truth.
Yeah, he's luring and enticing.
Yeah,
like
that was Satan
him out
in the garden. Oh, yeah. Said, what is this tree? Doesn't this tree look delicious? Oh, God really said that?
Do you wish to have this fruit?
Yeah.
Your wish.
And so she's getting... So one of the reason I rewatched it and then decided this was going to be the movie on a broad level because it's more of like a spiritual warfare movie where she at the end has to kind of stay God-centered and not fall to all of this desire around her.
Yeah.
And then there's a moment where he's fighting against the security guard, and the security guard simply says, "I wish you to go away." And he turns and he's like, no, I must get in. And he's walking away. And I was like, it's so simple and so silly and real, though.
Yeah, I wish you'd go.
It was so, at that moment, I said, all right, we're doing this one.
Because even in scripture, the Lord talks about resist the enemy and he'll flee. Like, it is that simple. Like, hey, bro.
What do you want? I want you to go away.
I'm not dealing with you, bro. No.
No. Well, fun fact, that guy, the security guard, is the guy who plays Jason in the Friday the 13th movies.
Really?
Freddy Krueger's in it. He's the guy that threw the party. That's Robert
really?
Englund.
No
That's
way.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And then Candyman is the bouncer at the club.
Yes.
Candyman.
That's where I was
so
like.
the Djinn takes out all of the
Takes out
horror.
Freddy, Jason, and
That
Candyman.
is really
crazy.
And the Wishmaster would also take out Jeepers Creepers.
I don't know about that one.
Bro.
I don't know about
The
that
Djinn's
one.
taking out everybody.
But the Jeepers Creepers, he doesn't talk, so
It
he
doesn't
can't get the wish. He can't get him to wish something.
He's wishing for food, dude. He's wishing for people's. He doesn't need to speak it.
That's who can get inside his mind. All right.
Well, that is an interesting scene when Alex is the main girl, and she.
Who, by the way, is a diamond appraiser and a basketball coach.
Oh
Yes.
Side note, I really
Solid
like
character.
Yeah, I really like the character Nick too.
Yeah.
He was, Nick
Yeah.
was good in that.
Didn't he die?
No, he didn't.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, he dies.
He dies later.
Yeah.
Well, he's like getting burned up, and
I feel like pretty much everyone dies in this movie.
Yeah.
and he's like, "Do you wish for the pain?"
No,
to go
that
away?"
was. I'm not talking about the diamond front. I'm talking about the jeweler that owns the store.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh.
he never died. He was. I don't think.
No,
he
he
was at the
doesn't die,
party.
but his whole family dies to make him rich.
Yeah, remember? Because he has to
That was
inherit.
Who,
grandma.
by the way, that's Sam Raimi's brother.
Really?
Yeah, that's Ted Raimi.
I
This
will
movie's
say-
an all-star movie.
I will say is pretty
This
dark,
is
but the
really-
funniest part is like when he's like, "I wish for $1 million," and when it goes to the who's the beneficiary, I was like, "Oh no."
that was your funniest part.
A little bit, yeah. The grandma's just like, "Oh yeah, $1 million," and then immediately goes and gets in a plane crash. I was like, "This is ridiculous, but kind of funny." Oh yeah, $1 million for my grandson. That's like, you gotta be
just
kidding
stock
me.
footage of a plane that they put in.
Yeah, just blowing
But
up.
that's the interesting thing, because there's a lot of people who talk about manifesting, right? To go
Mhm.
back to what you shared earlier. So a lot of people who have that perspective of like, well, I'll just manifest it into being. Like, what if
I
there
didn't like
was
that
something on the other side of that you didn't see?
Mm-hmm.
You know?
I got friends on the other side.
Thanks, Doc.
I don't know, but I do know that there's the scene where, because Alex starts to feel trapped in all this because she's the only one that can release
Yeah.
the Djinn, right? So that there's, I guess, a lot of them that come out, and
I think it
Right,
looks
something like
more
that?
I guess the demons that are coming out into the real world, because I guess that's his
Yeah,
ultimate
he just
goal, right?
released. They just release Hell on Earth.
Yeah.
yeah, that's what they want. So there's
Ugh.
the scene where Alex has to go inside, like
Mhm.
kind of the mind of the Djinn and all that stuff.
I wish to see your true self.
Uh-huh. Yes.
I wish
Oh
to
my
know who you
gosh.
Yeah, who you are.
And it was like hell.
Yeah.
It was hell.
I'll even
Um,
give you a free wish.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and so she tries to kill him, right? And so there's one of my favorite lines is when he says, "That which is eternal cannot die."
Yeah.
But if it's any consolidation, Alex, that was a great line. Great.
I love.
line.
It's funny enough, that line, before I knew it was actually came from this movie, it's in the Dragon Ball Abridged.
Is it
show.
really?
It's in an abridged version of it. So
That
so
whole line?
Yeah, because Android 16 rips off Cell's tail. He's like, yeah, I can regrow my abilities due to Uncle Piccolo's cells. But if it's any consolation, that hurts like hell. And I'm watching it, I was like, oh, shoot, I know.
I'm glad I can deepen the,
Yeah,
the Dragon Ball lore.
You really deep into me. Oh, man.
So when you get to the party scene, there's another interesting imagery here. Cause I'm sorry. I don't mean to pick on you in Lake Placid, but
Don't
like,
pick on Jason.
so like
I'm
Lake,
down.
this is kind of like
Take a bad
this
shot.
movie is so satisfying, like
Mhm.
to watch as a horror movie.
Yeah.
Like it gives me everything. Now
Yeah.
I was already all in this movie, But I was looking at the statues, and the statues represent different mythological, like deities and figures, and which as Christians we believe are like demonic, right? And so I'm sitting there, I'm like, if he brought the statues to life,
that'd be sick.
This movie instantly goes up like at least half a star.
I wasn't even thinking
And I was like, I'm not expecting it. I'm having a good time. But it would be cool if he resurrected all those spirits. And lo and behold, the freaking statues start rising up. And I'm like, this movie thought of everything with this concept.
I like when Jack the Ripper jumps off the wall.
Yeah. I love when all like the craziness starts happening in the hallway. Like it felt like a horror house, and it was just like, but it was like, oh my
what
gosh.
house?
A horror house.
It didn't sound like that.
It didn't.
Horror house, everyone, not a whole house.
Anyways,
Halloween Horror Nights.
Yeah, because it was cool. Because I'm like, all these like demonic images are coming out.
Yeah,
literally. And the art, because art, idols, like physically crafting idols, and the idols are turning on everyone.
Yeah, that's good.
I was like, this is so good.
Dang, I didn't think
that's good.
Because the guy's the art collector.
Yeah.
He's just, all he wants is...
It's just hoarding and collecting.
And he wants to throw a party and be remembered. And
he barely even cares about it.
Dang, that's good, Derek. I didn't even think about that. That's good. That's good.
Yeah. And then we get to the end.
Oh yeah.
So what you guys don't like the end? Jason,
I like the ending. What do you guys not like about it?
I was
actually describe the end for the audience.
Yeah.
Before.
So my thought was, all right, it works.
Same,
but like
same.
Like it was like a soft pass. Like okay.
So the Djinn gets brought into culture because someone who's operating the crane to bring the box overseas is drunk.
Yeah.
And he messes up and the box falls onto a guy, he dies, and then the diamond is revealed. And then that sparks the whole story. And so her last wish while her cousin is burning in the painting, and which he names Sister, Why Have You Forsaken Me? Like there's Christian lines all throughout.
There are.
I liked when the homeless guy gets his wish granted and runs away and he goes tell everybody. It's the opposite of what Jesus did.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's so good.
But so she's standing there and everything's swirling around her and she's like, okay, stillness. She's remembering what Rick Merrill told her in Systemic.
It worked.
And her final wish to beat the Wishmaster is, I wish that the guy who was operating the crane wasn't drunk on the job. So then he never drops the box and the Wishmaster's never seen.
Yeah.
My first thought is he manipulates every wish. He couldn't have just been high on drugs. Your wish is granted. He's high on drugs.
No one was really doing the drugs back then.
Not good enough. Like that, the simplicity of that wish, I was like, and he's like, no, and dies all, and his soul gets sucked into the, and I'm like, bruh. He could have been on coke, or he could have been on heroin. Just switch it. He's not like.
Can I ask you something though? Can I ask you a question? Because maybe it might work still with that. Okay. I agree. I do.
That's
see
my
that
first thought.
But how does he come back in Wishmaster 2?
I don't remember.
Don't spoil it. I'm gonna watch it.
But I'm curious.
It's the beginning of the movie.
I think it just starts all over.
I want to watch it.
Because I'm curious because if the guy doesn't get drunk, if there's another. Like a string attached, if there's some other like thing that's put in
that starts the sequel,
that brings the sequel. Yep, and that's
that'd have been okay
because that could be brilliant.
Yeah,
that actually could be really brilliant if that's how they do it.
So what's your second point? Because you said
that's it. As simple as that.
Okay.
So how would you have ended it?
I don't know, dude. I don't know.
I wish the statue had never broken.
And demons are released.
I wish Jesus was here. If there's demons, I know that Jesus is here.
And he would just bring a statue of Jesus that can't do anything.
That would be funny. Here's your Jesus.
In the fourth one, an angel comes from heaven with a sword that can kill him.
Really?
Yeah.
Sick.
Yeah.
See, that's what I'm saying. I don't want to be spoiled.
And I think it's like the Archangel Michael, and then
I was about to say Michael.
Yeah, and the sword is what kills him. So,
all right, no more talking about
low key a Christian movie.
This sounds you
really can't kill him. He just has to come back. Like he goes away for the next opportune time.
So he's like Anton Chigurh, just. Well, he can be slowed down and stop, but he's
just a force.
The Jesus in the wilderness, it just says the devil fleed until the next time.
Yeah,
so he doesn't. It doesn't work. I guess in that sense, it was just okay. This movie's over.
Yeah,
wait for the next movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, bruh, There's
Any other
17 other drugs that could have.
17 other drugs.
Oh my god.
He could have been. Maybe he could have been there that day, and then like another drunk guy would have been there. Yeah.
So good.
Yeah, technically there are less deaths in this movie than in Lake Placid.
Really?
Yes.
I'm
People
confused.
were getting.
Oh
turned
yeah,
into
yeah. I
snakes
see
and
what you
stuff.
mean. I do see what you
Technically,
mean. Yes.
nobody dies in this movie.
Because the wish
the
reverses
wish.
it back.
So Lake Placid has more deaths than Wishmaster. Lasting
This
deaths.
feels like Endgame.
Yeah. It does.
favorite kill? Anybody?
Oh dang! Actually,
Oh my
oh,
gosh.
did I put it?
The
in
lamest one was the escape one. That was like, that's a stretch.
The Houdini one?
Yeah, escape, like, so
Do you
then
want
he
to
gets
escape-
out.
Do you want to escape this life of yours?
You want to escape?
No, he doesn't get out. He's not Houdini. Houdini did it in 2 minutes.
Yeah, but he said the wish
I
was
wonder how
to,
long it'll take you.
the wish was to escape, so that's why I'm saying it was weak. I didn't really like it. I was like, that doesn't fit.
Mm-hmm.
I think the most clever one, because you start to get into the rhythm of the movie after a while, and you're like, okay, like I get what this is. And so it was like the girl who wanted to be beautiful forever. I'm like, okay, how's he gonna do this?
Mannequin.
And it made her a mannequin.
Yeah.
Because
the
she's working
store.
in a store.
Yeah.
I'm just like, wow.
Yeah.
Isn't that a mythical story with metamorphosis?
Yeah, I mean that is tapping into something really old. Even the Twilight Zone has a couple episodes that play on that idea as well.
The
Especially
After Hours. I
Yeah.
think.
yeah. After Hour. Oh, such a good episode. So I thought that was like the coolest one. I don't know if it was my favorite.
No, I think my
But-
favorite one is when the guy turned into a skeleton, and it was all like, I guess maybe stop motion effect because he fell on the ground. Remember the guy that fell on the
Oh,
ground?
yeah.
And then the skeleton came out of the
Yeah,
head.
that was wild.
Yeah, I was like,
Yeah.
what?
That was one of the most gruesome
Yeah,
ones.
I think that's
It
my
was
favorite
gruesome.
one. That
I
was
like
my-
when he gets born and he's like this little baby on the
Yeah,
ground.
oh, it was so
and he's like
creepy.
this. He's like, do you?
Do you wish?
He's like this innocent little baby like this with his head on his head. I can stop the pain.
No, I don't care if I was dying. If I saw anything
Yeah.
come
I'd
out
be
of
like,
nowhere, yeah, nope, I just got to die because you're evil, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man.
It's either that or her grandma on the plane.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
Oh
What
man.
else is
Fi-
in that?
fi-
Anything else in that movie?
Final thoughts.
The party scenes are still wild.
Yeah.
with all
The party-
special
it is
effects.
wild.
Yeah, the special effects are
Well, because the opening scene is really over the top,
Mhm.
crazy.
I would love to see a movie of just that time, like when
Yeah.
he was there.
But the party scene even took it even further.
Mhm.
I was like, dang.
I was like, someone got turned into a snake. I was like, man, that sucks. Like half man, half snake. Like, that's crazy.
I will say, like, another kind of weak part was them pretending that the Djinn's like the actor was some super handsome guy, and it's just this. Like the woman's like, her sister's like, oh, I ran into that super handsome guy at the. It's like, no, he's not. He just looks like a normal. No one wears a suit
Yeah,
around
just
you.
like, yeah.
You're like, this is the first man
No
you've seen
one's
wearing
put
a suit around you.
I don't know who that actor is, but he did a great job.
Oh yeah, he's great, but he's not like Mr.
Perfect.
Mr. Universe over
Yeah.
here. They're treating him like, oh, this dreamy man. No, dude, he looks kind of scary.
Yeah, he does kind of look sketch.
I don't know what you're into, but
All right. Well, Nick, thanks for bringing this.
yeah, this
This
was
was a good one.
Fun.
Pleasantly surprised.
yeah. The effects
Yeah.
were super good.
Mhm.
Yeah, very good.
And like Joe was saying earlier, the costume design and just
Yeah.
I really was surprised with this one.
Well, I think every schlock pick that we've had has not only been very personal, but has been incredibly enjoyable. For all we know, everyone else listening might hate these films or look them up and be like, what? But hopefully you could see.
You guys should
how
watch
if
all
Schlock-
of them that we've recommended, to be honest.
how, I hopefully people out there, you guys could see that
Even in
we
the
could be
trash.
inspired to do that even through the garbage, right?
Raw,
But
just
finding
raccoons,
the treasures and the gems there. So we have a very special series we're going to be doing next. I'm not going to say what it is on here, but you'll have to tune into the next episode to find out. So join us for that. And until then,
Make your wishes. No, the podcast is over. No.
Thank you for listening to the Live a Meaningful Story podcast, produced by All Things Narrative. If you'd like to learn more about our coaching, workshops, events, please check out allthingsnarrative.com. You can also follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube at All Things Narrative. If you enjoyed this episode, please consider subscribing and leaving us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts, and tune in next time as we continue exploring the stories we love and the stories we live. Take care.